Welcome to MV Soulmate. We're Bob and Diane. We left Duluth, Minnesota August 1st, 2021 on America's Great Loop. We cruised all the way across Lake Superior and all the way down Lake Michigan. Then we headed south to the Gulf of Mexico via the inland river system from Chicago, Illinois to Mobile, Alabama, and crossed the Gulf of Mexico, then headed south down Florida's Gulf Coast and further south to the Florida Keys. Like what you see? We would appreciate your helping us out by hitting the red subscribe button under the video. Thank you. So it was time to leave Everglades City, and we were going to travel to Stock Island on Key West. We had 94 miles to travel. There were only 10.5 hours of daylight. I like to travel between 8 and 9 knots. Had a 3-foot tide at the time. The current was very excessive, and there's a lot of skinny areas on the way in. Soulmate draws 4.5 feet, and it made sense to come in and out at high tide or near high tide. We departed Everglades City at 1 p.m. just after high tide.
Hey darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in.
Diane stored the dock lines and fenders as we headed down the barren river.
Real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday. Baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count, honey. Come on now and take my hand.
This is a good example of what I call skinny water, also known as shallow water. I received advice from an experienced Everglades City boater who recommended not anchoring in a couple anchorages I was looking at the mouth of the Barren River. He said with this extreme a tide, he's seen several boaters end up in the mangroves. You see the tides switch. They're going one direction at one time of the day, then it switches, and your boat, when it goes around on the anchor, sometimes people don't anchor properly, or in this case the anchorage spots were too small for the boat and the amount of scope I would have set out on the anchor. The experienced Everglades City boater would go 2 miles offshore to avoid the no-see-em, set anchor for the night, and then resume his cruise, which was typically the marathon. So when we headed out, I decided to go out 8.5 miles instead of 2 miles. This would gain about an hour of daylight for us for the next day. In other words, we'd have less travel. There were 94 miles from Key West to Everglades City. That decision made it where I only had 81 miles more to navigate the next morning.
Hey darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city life. Hey darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car. Leave a little note and we'll drive real far.
The forecast was perfect, no waves, no wind, beautiful sunset. It couldn't have been better.
Yeah, it was flat, calm seas, and it was a beautiful night, and we ate dinner about 5 o'clock, and we knew by 6 o'clock it was going to be total darkness.
This is our view offshore where we're anchored. Beautiful, beautiful day. The sunset was outstanding.
Hey, darling, you know we're gonna have a really good time. Driving in the middle of the night when the stars are bright. Pack our bags and get in that car. Leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city.
I set the anchor alarm and prepared for a good evening.
Yeah, the countryside is so pretty.
About 9 o'clock that night, I heard voices. I heard people talking and I heard people laughing right outside our screen doors. And I got spooked because I knew we were the only boat out there. I never heard a motor, just people talking and laughing. So I tried calling for Bob and I could barely talk, so I realized I froze and that wasn't a good thing to do. And I tried to get off the settee, the sofa there, and I couldn't because, again, I froze. So after trying to call your name, I couldn't hear that you had heard anything. So after a little while, the noise was gone. So I'm not sure exactly what that was, but nonetheless, it was concerning to realize that I froze and panic or whatever. So I learned that I need to be more proactive, and that is to have an air horn or a bright flashlight that I can just turn on, and that will get anybody's attention. We have done this many times. This is not our first rodeo in doing this. We have anchored out in very remote areas, being the only boat out in the waters. So this wasn't anything new.
Just before sunrise, I cleaned the windows from the humidity, brought up the anchor, and then we started cruising for Key West.
How's it going, Captain?
Oh, good morning, dear. We had a great night. It was like super calm. We got maybe 4-inch waves right now. We've started our way to the north channel going into Key West. You can see that on the chart there. Simrad navigation system is handling it. I created the waypoint. I'll do manual once I get to that north channel. I prefer that. And it was a great night. And looking forward to getting to Key West and Stock Island.
And a cup of coffee.
And a cup of coffee. Snow crabbing is a sustainable resource and a very important economic impact in Florida. Snow crabs are taken up from the traps, their claws are removed, and they are released to the wild where they regenerate new claws. We saw at least 1,000 crab traps this day. Running at night is not an option. Leaving the anchorage, we had 81 nautical miles to travel to Stock Island Marina Village. Traveling at 8 knots would get us there too close to dark. There were only 10.5 hours of daylight in the day, so we decided to cruise at about 9 knots. Sea conditions and the temperature were excellent. When we came down the Northwest Channel, things hit me. Never in my life did I think I would have traveled by boat from Duluth, Minnesota to Key West. It was a very meaningful moment. We arrived at Stock Island ahead of schedule at 3:39 p.m. on New Year's Eve. We celebrated with a very nice rum and hors d'oeuvres. We went to bed early as I was up many times during the night, lest Diane had a very difficult night. Diane woke up when there were fireworks, didn't wake me up, and told me about them in the morning. Our next 2 videos will include what we did during our month-long stay at Stock Island Marina Village in Key West and a video tour of Soulmate. Follow us on our adventures at mvsoulmate.com. Be well, everybody.